Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. This is my review of Baby Reindeer, which I've just finished watching. I was watching it last night and today on Netflix, and also discussing some of my own personal, I'm only talking from my perspective, my personal experiences with a stalker. Because watching Baby Reindeer really brought a lot back all over again, even though we're right in the thick of it now. It brought a lot back. Oh, sorry, I'm so cold today. We've got this arctic wind. We've had it for about 2 weeks now, with only a couple of breaks. Yeah, Baby Reindeer. It's an original Netflix show. And what really struck me from the very beginning was where it started. It's a true story. It's very well edited together. The storytelling in it is fantastic because the way they've cut it removes the necessity to have copious hours of explanation. You know, the editing is just so clever. It basically started with the guy, the victim, being kind, and he felt sorry for the woman who became his stalker, and he gave her a cup of tea. That's exactly where it started, an act of kindness, which was then misinterpreted as him being in love with her and wanting to be with her, and, you know, a lot of nonsense like that. And I could really relate to that, because the situation with me is the last couple of years, and I'm going to show you a video of the first email this guy sent. Apparently, now this guy has a YouTube channel. And he has said on his YouTube channel that he's friends with, talks offline to a particular troll, one of the worst troll accounts on Twitter. And that troll account constantly references him. So there's going to be some of that edited in, because I found the very first email where he first approached me and Graham to make contact. And I put a screenshot of that up on Twitter yesterday or the day before, and the troll account Atalanta that loves him and he loves it, that, you know, it has declared its love, you know, I love Russell, and Russell has said, oh, I love Atalanta, we're friends, they talk offline and everything. The troll claimed that that's a falsified screenshot, that email, so I've included a screen record email in this to show you the email inside my email, avid@gardener.com. So you can see the exact pinpoint time and date that the email was received. And I've done it so that none of his private details will be revealed. He has a channel. He uses his own name, Russel Green, on his channel, and on all his other social media and Company's House and other things on the internet that are already on the public domain. So there's nothing that no private information has been divulged. But getting back to Baby Reindeer, and it's interesting that when the victim tries, because when you're a victim of stalking, you do become frustrated. The police take time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of patience. And you have a person, a human being, who is just attacking your life, and going on and on and on at you, and they just will not stop. So you cannot get on with your own life, and it does create frustration, emotion, breakdowns, anger. And I watched this guy go through all of this. Oh my God, there's a scene where the character wants to be a comedian, and he gets up. He's not very good. He's not very funny at all. And he gets up on stage, and, you know, the audience are not receptive to his efforts. And he just goes into a full-blown meltdown where he tells the audience the most private details of his ordeal and his experience. And someone in the audience videoed it, put it on YouTube, and it went viral. And that's how this guy's sort of story got out. But it's not an uncommon thing to have a stalker, especially in this day and age with the internet. And we all put ourselves out there. But when someone puts photographs, videos, family stuff out on the internet, does that justify or give someone else the right to comb through everything and not only repost it, but then accompany it with sexual references and the most insulting things they can possibly think of? Now, there are lots of troll accounts out there, and the majority of, well, all of them, I don't know who the hell's behind them. I have no idea. And having been on the receiving end of allegations myself, I will not make allegations against someone unless I am certain. And the reason this particular troll account and this particular YouTuber is because the YouTuber has said in his own words that he is friends with this troll account. He supports it. He talks to the person offline. And that troll account makes constant reference to him and how much they love him, as you'll see later in the video. And it really struck me in the Netflix, they kept coming back to the cup of tea. And it's true. And that one, I did a one shout out video for this guy. And I don't mean to insult him, but I mean, he's one of the most boring people I've ever come across in my life. And I couldn't think what else to say other than he has a nice voice. Because I was thinking, well, you know, what is there to say? And he has one of those voices like if you're driving in the middle of the night and you have one of these radio DJs that drones on and on and on. It is that kind of voice. But I couldn't say that, you know, it's not going to encourage anybody to go look at his channel. So I said he's got a voice like chocolate. I mean, I don't fucking eat chocolate. I don't like chocolate. I've eaten it since I was 10. And then I'm sorry, I blatantly lied and said he's quite good looking. He's not. He disgusts me. I can't stand the sight of him. And then I see this morning that the troll account has said that I was making sexual advances to him by making that video. His voice is like chocolate, and that I was making orgasm faces, you know, sexual orgasm faces. And I watched baby Reindeer, and that's exactly what his stalker said. He just let her have a cup of tea. She said she didn't have any money to pay for it, and he said, don't worry, it's on the house. And that was it. And then they do this depiction of all these messages, these offensive messages that his stalker sent him, and calling his dad a paedophile and him a paedophile, and they're criminals. And I mean, it was basically out of the playbook of Atalanta of Arcadia, and it just brought it all really flooding to me. Here's the character's circumstances. He'd been a victim of sexual abuse and stuff like that. I don't have that. And my story and his story are quite different, but the big part that's the same is the act of kindness. That's what tripped it off. It was, I mean, how can you misinterpret someone saying, you know, I haven't got enough money to buy a cup of tea. Oh, it's on the house. You know, how can someone misinterpret that and think that that person wants to have sex with them? And in the same light, me saying, you know, there's this YouTube guy, he's got a lovely voice, he's got a voice like chocolate, and he's quite good looking. How can someone interpret that as an orgasmic, you know, an orgasm face? That's disgusting. It's disgusting. And this Atalanta constantly posts about how many times Graham and I are having sex. Like they'd know. They speak with quite authority, and there are other troll accounts. I deeply suspect it's one person behind the lot. Statistically speaking, that's normally what it is. It's one extreme nutter who has created a whole host of personalities to make it look like a group. And they talk about how often Graham and I are having sex. Graham and I and Trevor want to have sex with Foxy. We're grooming Foxy, and Graham wants to have sex with the trolls, and how often does Graham have sex? And it goes on and on and on and on about sex. And the last week, it's me. I mean, you'll see the post says Fiona, oh Trevor, Fiona, Graham, Fiona. It's there's an obsession. Russ and Fiona. How could Fiona resist a big bear of a man? Like, no, because they're trying to say that I'm upset. I'm obsessed with him. Oh my God, he makes. I'm not going to say anything insulting, but flesh crawl, really. And the way this guy played the actors who played the parts, the lead parts, the girl who played the stalker was brilliant, and the lead character who played the guy who was being stalked, even more brilliant, and his parents, the guy who played his dad, totally understandable, you know, on the phone to this stalker, effing and blinding and threatening and stuff. And I could really relate to the main character, because it took us a lot to get the police to look at this an awful lot, and it took this guy an awful lot to get police to take notice and to have a look at one human being making another human being's life an utter misery. And also the fact that his ex-girlfriend and her mother were quite unsympathetic, and his current girlfriend was unsympathetic, and a lot of them were blaming him. This is your fault, it's your stalker, your stalker's bringing trouble to my door. Or, I mean, people saying things like, oh, just phone police. It's not like that. There's the police, their hands are pretty tied. We've actually been quite lucky in our instance, and it's going to take a long time. Oh, God. And these people, they just go on and on and on. And in the baby reindeer story, he found out not long after this woman, he'd given her a cup of tea, this act of kindness, and he'd had gone for a coffee with her, and she'd been coming in the pub where he worked, and every day, and he googled her, and he found out she had been convicted of stalking before. I think she'd been to prison for it, and I don't want to spoil the ending of the story for anybody, but it was the fact that there were many victims before. It wasn't just him. She'd been stalking a lot of people. It's a personality disorder. It's almost something she couldn't help herself. And even in the end, he had great sympathy with her and felt sorry for her. I do not feel sorry, and I just want it to stop and for them to go away so we can live our lives. But it doesn't. It's like, of every waking hour, it's pretty much every 10 to 3 minutes, tweet. And it is sexual, and it's dangerous stuff they're putting up now, you know. Oh, Graham's a paedophile. You know, some stranger might believe that shit. The stuff, I'm glad they've stopped picking on my daughter. I'm glad they've stopped picking on Foxy. I don't want that for a minute. But it is a constant thing. And also, I see in the newspapers, because this baby reindeer, that the woman who is around the story is saying she was the victim, that he was stalking her. Oh my God. And I relate to that as well. I really do, because, you know, I've heard that bullshit as well. And you just sit there as a victim and you are aghast at the fact. I mean, this all started actually in June 2022. That's when the Atalanta started. And then this guy contacted us for the first time in December 2022. And we've been really measured, really nice, you know, and parted company with him. I put a video up a few weeks ago showing the screenshots of the things that I'd said to him, you know, go away, live your life in peace, you know, good luck with your YouTube channel, you're doing great, spread your wings, fly, go. You know, it was really nice, I was really patient. And this guy, this main character in Baby Reindeer, was the same. And actually what I should have done is been a lot harder and said, and growled at him and said, just get lost. Because being nice, that is not going to work with that type of personality. And people say just block and ignore. No, that does not work. They just create new accounts and come at you from another angle. Anyone out there who watches this and thinks, just phone the police and just block. That's it. Problem. Go watch Baby Reindeer and you will see immediately. His story, as I say, is very different to ours. And he was damaged and abused and in other ways. And that's not the case with us. We have had stalkers in our lives before. We had two people, but they were two disgruntled ex-members of staff at Dolphin Safari. There's an explanation. You know, that is an explanation, isn't it? I had a very violent ex-boyfriend from when I was 15, and that went on for a couple of years, but that was an ex-partner. It's a form of explanation. It doesn't justify it, doesn't make it okay, but that is an explanation. This is the first time that I think I've come across just a random person who I had no idea they existed. I had no idea the troll account existed. The reason I became aware of the troll account was because people are contacting me saying, oh my God, have you seen this? Which prompted me and some other YouTubers to go and look. And then you'll see from the emails that Graham and I and Trevor were very much singled out by this person, this Russel Green. And then Trevor fell out with him, and I really didn't want to be involved in it because, you know, Graham wasn't well. I sent him some nice messages, didn't think another thing about him. And then he cropped up again, I can't remember, December, January, this just passed, popped up on my live demanding apologies for being accused of being Atalanta of Arcadia, which up to that point I had never said a word about that, never. Because I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't 100% on board. Sonia Poulton was confident, but I wasn't confident enough, so I didn't say anything. And it wasn't until, well, he popped up on the live first, and that made me very uncomfortable and wary. And I thought, you know, I haven't even thought about you in months. What the hell are you talking about? He seemed to accuse us of being behind other troll accounts on Twitter, which is not true. None of us are. Not Trevor, not me, not Graham, not any member of our families. We're not interested in him. We are not interested at all, and never were. And that's when I thought, well, I don't want him using that recommendation video of mine anymore. And I put the copyright strikes in, and as you'll see, it went from his hard drive to the troll account within a matter of 2 hours. And I explained to Sussex Police that, in my mind, is beyond reasonable doubt that he is connected to that troll account at the very least. And then he went on to make further declarations and endorsements and say, yes, he is in touch with that Atalanta of Arcadia, that he is friends with them, that they speak the truth, they're there for truth and justice. I mean, my God, it's pure lunacy. It really is. And we have to screen record everything that's on it every day, do 24 hours with Russell, Graham calls it, 24 hours with Russell. And of course it has made us angry and frustrated and exhausted and fed up. And it just goes on and on and on. And I can't help feeling that, having watched Baby Reindeer as well, that the police, the government, need to get some bloody legislation that's really much quicker. We're lucky as victims that so many police forces have been supportive and are involved. But how many people out there are suffering this that are nothing to do with the Megxit community? You know, they're just being stalked by whoever. I really feel that it's time politicians actually earned their keep and got some legislation together which would force the hand of social media to identify these people much, much more quickly. Police must be inundated with work. And the other interesting thing about Baby Reindeer is that in the end, they basically said to him, we do not have the resources to go through. I think the girl had sent him 40,000 messages. And of course, the police don't have the time and resources. It's very expensive. So this copper kind of said to him off the record, look, you go through it as the victim and give us something we can work with, which is what me and Graham and Trevor had to do from January. I knew that before we contacted the police. The police were involved from mine and Graham's point of view in February, after that video went from Russell's hard drive to the troll's hard drive. That's when we involved the police. But I knew from January. I explained to Trevor, we're going to have to find something that we can work with. There's something the police can work with. And I explained to him, they'll just say they haven't got the resources. Having said that, they have worked. There's one particular lady at Sussex Police who has worked very, very, very hard and put in an awful lot of hours. Anyway, so that's my review of Baby Reindeer. It is shocking. If you've ever been through any kind of sexual abuse or stalking, you might find it triggering. The sexual abuse is quite graphic. But when I say it's graphic, it doesn't show everything, but it leaves stuff to the imagination. But it's shocking what the guy went through. And he does explain in the early episodes, it's hard to understand where he's coming from, why he keeps allowing the stalker and his sexual abuser, why he keeps going back. But he explains it all at the end. And I was in floods of tears, actually, when I saw that. He was up on the stage and he explained It's definitely worth a watch. And now I will show you some of the Atalanta stuff, just as a comparison, because this is going to be for people who are not necessarily subscribers of my channel, who might be coming along to see my review of Baby Reindeer and to hear the perspective of someone who is currently going through this type of lunacy. Thank you very much for listening. Right, so I searched my email, avid@gardener.com, and I found this email from Russ Green to avid@gardener.com. And I'm only opening this email because it doesn't show his email address or infringe on any of his privacy rights, because if I dare do any of that, he'll put a complaint in. But his name is Russ Green. He says that on the internet, on his YouTube channel, on all his social media. That's the bilge pump, by the way. Graham's just running some water. So he sent this email to us. Up here, if we look at the date, this is December, 7th of December. It's the American version. I thought it was actually 12th of July 2022 at first, but it's not. It's the 7th of December. And you can even see the time that it was sent, from Russ Green to Avid Gardener. I'm not going to click on this one or this one. This was the first contact he sent. You can see there that that's the 7th. And Graham replied to him on the 8th to say that I was ill, but never mind. And then he replied again on the 8th to say, okay, no problem. But initially, you can see from this, he says, hello, Fiona and the Baron. Hope you're both well. You don't know me. Probably never heard of my YouTube channel either. My name's Russ and I own Absolutely Average. Tonight at 9 PM, I'm doing my weekly live stream with special guest. Trevor Coult said he'd pop in for a while. I want to chat to him about the treatment he's getting from YouTube. I'm no fan of Harry and the migraine, and I wanted to highlight, I think that's meant to be his plight, using my platform. I saw the video you put up yesterday, and I know we're all on the same page. Do you fancy joining me after Trevor? So, I mean, that's clearly, we never heard of this guy before. We had no idea who he was. He's introducing himself. He admits we probably have no idea who he is. It's not like he's someone famous. It's not like he's, George Harrison of the Beatles or Paul McCartney or Phil Collins or anything. He's some guy called Russ on a YouTube channel we never heard of. And he's clearly inviting us to go and be on a live with him because the troll account Atalanta of Arcadia constantly implies that it's me chasing him because I want to have sex with him. I'm in love with him, blah, blah, blah. You'll see. So... and that's clearly 2022, because the other thing Atalanta says is, I put a screenshot of this up on my Twitter the other night, and the troll says it's screenshotted. Well, it's not. I can highlight things in here. I don't know if I don't think I can. No, I can't even edit it. That is how it was received, and I mean, I can unselect it. Let's unselect that, untick it, and you can see. This is in an email, and also you can see that the date here tallies with the date over here. So I mean, I'm not making this shit up. And just a simple act of kindness, giving the guy just a quick shout out. My God. And here we are, a couple of years later. Now this is the other highly relevant post. This is from the 8th of February, just before midnight, 2024. Now this video here is a snippet of a video that I did recommending about 4 or 5 different smaller YouTube channels, and Russell was one of them. I can actually unmute it, and then you can hear. Actually makes me feel sick. I try a faster playback speed just so I don't have to listen to it too bad. But this is me recommending Russell, saying insincere things like, oh, he's got a voice like chocolate, he's quite good looking. It's basically because I couldn't think of anything nice to say about the guy. Just off the top of my head, I thought, well, what can I say?
Got one of the most fine voices, and he's also quite handsome. Absolutely Average, one of my favourites. He's got several thousand subscribers now, but still one of the smaller channels, and he's got a voice that just melts chocolate. He's got one of the most divine voices, and he's also quite handsome.
Now, my reason, I did this video to be kind, to be nice, and to help the guy with his channel, and I deeply regret doing it. This has come off his hard drive because I didn't put any special effects over this. If I go to here, you can see this is in full colour. If I go to here and here, you can see it fades to black and white. He obviously didn't want the whole video of me talking about other YouTubers. He just wanted a bit that was relevant to him, and he put these special effects. Now, what happened was on the 6th of February 2024, he had two versions of this on his channel. I put a copyright strike in and YouTube took it down. And on the 7th excuse me, of February, I put in a copyright strike for the second one, and YouTube took it down on the 8th of February. And 2 hours later, because I've got the email from YouTube, you know, the copyright time that it was taken down off his channel, and 2 hours later, his version with this sepia black and white, so his colour there fades to black and white there. So this has come off his hard drive, was uploaded onto this troll account. So just have a quick look at this. It's posted even more. That's me, by the way. Good God. There's been quite a few more posts, but there was a particular one that I wanted to show you. He's reposted that again, but the original one was on the 8th of February. There he is. This troll account sticks up for, talks about him all the time, and he talks and sticks up for this troll account on his YouTube channel all the time. When it comes to Fifi, we are not playing games, and I will rest when she joins Trevor and hubby in prison. I mean, it is just standard things. There was a particular one that I saw this morning. I mean, a lot of them, they make constant sexual, you know, how many times Graham and I have sex, whether I'm having sex. For example, here, this independent thinker, Ren, all these accounts, they're all with Atalanta, all of them. Just because you won't screw your own husband, which you haven't done in more than 15 years, I'm not quite sure how they would know what Graham and I do, doesn't mean he no longer has sexual needs. Then again, you two played dress up and switched teams, so it's anyone's guess what type of depraved weirdos you are. When it comes to depraved weirdos, but yeah, I'm just trying to... Oh, here's Olivia that threatened to put a bullet in mine, and Graham's heads. Graham's a creepy, nasty man. He has thousands of young women. Graham's a paedophile now, apparently, according to these people. Graham is obsessed. I mean, look, the picture of me. It's just a picture of Graham. Talk about obsessed. Video of me. Pictures of Graham. They have dug through Graham's old YouTube video, and yes, he is wearing pants there, and they take still shots of whatever they can. Sussex police this, Sussex police that, how many trolls have been arrested, put on bail, or have been charged. Well, you know, these things take time, and they include Foxy, which is really quite disgusting. Oh yeah, they're calling Graham a nonce, which for anyone outside of England means a sex offender, which Graham is not. But I mean, feel free. I found the baby reindeer very interesting. I'm just trying to find this particular one where he's... Oh yeah. Is she high on crack? That's a common thing. You know, I take crack cocaine. What evidence have you posted, Fifi? Well, hello, here we are. That photoshopped email from Russ. Oh yeah, they're saying that that email I just showed you. Or maybe they didn't actually want to post it. I have a whole load of documents, emails, screenshots, videos, statements that said, do you have your word? I mean, what documents have you posted, Atalanta? Nothing. And and saying that photoshopped email from Russ is not evidence. The header is fake. Well, it's not fake. I have literally just shown you that is a genuine email. But there was this particular one that they had put about Russell. I mean, look at this one, for example. This is another cocaine one. Sounds exactly right. Fiona already admitting to being diddling or blingy or something like that. Yeah, I have a diddling account. And she sure loves to harass. Right, wow. Staying away from the white powder is a good thing. Drugs are not good, kids. I mean, they constantly say that I'm a drug smuggler and I'm a drug dealer. It is constant. It's all the time. I'm going to find this one. Oh, this is an interesting one. And no, it's not Russ. They're talking about me. So far, she is reported directly for contacting 3 witnesses in the fraud case. After tracking their contact details down. I don't know what witnesses they're talking about or who I'm supposed to have tracked down. I don't find that funny. If anyone has any objections of her doing that, you know where to find her on X. She and Superglue. I think they're referring to the Duchess of North Sussex there. And more stuff about Graham. Oh, and here they are going on about the dolphin safari. There's Russell again. This is Trevor's troll. Not Trevor Cool is constantly with Atalanta. Oh, I wonder who that is. There's Trevor. There's me. You know, it's Trevor, me, and then occasionally Graham and others. I think he might have actually deleted that tweet. They're retweeting Andy there. I don't know what that's for. Reporting me to the police for murder, grooming, witness intimidation. Could be in this one. No. I mean, there's so much of this, and at the moment it's extremely active. Oh, here we are. Is this one? Atalanta says, no, that was your wife when he didn't want her in spite of her throwing herself at him. They're talking about Russell. Graham, they're obviously retweeting something that Graham has said about Russell. So they're saying here, no, that's me, that I threw myself at Russell, calling him handsome. And this is the bit that really made me feel sick this morning. Making orgasm faces when she spoke of him and said his voice melted chocolate. Making orgasm faces. Oh my God, I gave the guy a shout out to be nice. And then it just goes on with further insults. Oh, here we are. This painting stars. This account was created in February 2024. Oh, here we are. They're trying to get the police to arrest me for stuff. Oh, for God's sake. They don't seem to understand someone has to break the law to be arrested for something. This new account, which I believe is also the same person as Atalanta. I remember that video. She was gushing all over Russ, saying he was handsome and had a voice like chocolate. To be honest, it made me feel uncomfortable. Actually, it made me feel quite nauseous. I can imagine how poor Russ must have felt with the old back coming onto him like that. So there's just a lot of reference about Russell on this, well, on all of the troll accounts really, and there's a lot of reference to this particular troll account on Russell's YouTube channel. As most of you know, he said that the person, this is a woman. This is not a woman. I've seen the way this talk. This is a man, and that this Atalanta of Arcadia speaks the truth 100%. Russell said he's friends with Atalanta of Arcadia, chats offline to Atalanta of Arcadia. So you can see that there is a bit of an obsession going on here with me and Trevor. And I mean, they just love this guy constantly posting his stuff up here. And it's ongoing. And the only reason I liken Russell to this is because he himself has said he talks to Atalanta of Arcadia offline. That this account speaks the truth, is in this for truth and justice. Really, what the hell have I got to do with veteran accounts? Nothing. They just speak about truth and justice. Russel Green said this account speaks the truth. You wouldn't believe the work this girl's done behind the scenes. Here's another one. Regular John. This has been around since 2014. I'm guessing this is some sort of veteran account. I don't know. Well, I won't bore you guys with any more of this. If you do go and look at Atalanta of Arcadia, you'll see the level of obsession. Me, Trevor, me, Graham. I don't know who that is. Graham, me, Graham, me, Graham, me, Graham, me. That's meant to be me. Graham. I mean, I could go on and on and on scanning down. You won't. I don't think there's that much on Trevor. Me. That's supposed to be me. Oh, there's Trevor. You can see that actually Graham. That one was. We thought that one was quite funny actually. Fitness Hutch. And it just that me and Graham, Trevor. And it just me and Trevor, me and Trevor, me and Trevor, me and Trevor. You get the idea. Me. I think that's meant to be me. That's about me. Oh God, it's all about me. So I just want the point I want to make, because I am doing a review about Baby Reindeer, which is really quite horrific. This all really started with me giving a smaller YouTuber a shout out. Oh, that's supposed to be me. Things like that I don't mind. I don't know who the hell that is. Probably me, maybe Trevor, could be Graham, I don't know. And it goes on and on and on. So the guy in Baby Reindeer, he bought the girl a cup of tea and had a nightmare. It's a true story. And there's Glinda. And I gave this smaller channel a shout out, and he emailed me, he contacted me, and it's been a 2-year nightmare. It just doesn't seem to stop ever, and the police are on with it, but these things take time. I seriously suggest that they love reusing that picture. There's Wally. As once upon a time Wally was a big target for this. It's very much more me, and a lot of it is sexual, and it is repulsive, and does make me feel quite uncomfortable. They keep saying, you know, that I yearn after Russell, that I want to be with Russell, that I think that orgasm face, that just made me feel sick, and that was today.